Hey, how's it going? Welcome in. Let me just get going here. So we're making bowls for supported spindles. So this is black walnut. So the finish sanding, I'll do off the lathe. All right, now we're going to grab some wood chips. We're going to burnish the surface. I know it doesn't look like much, but you take a supported spindle and set it in it. And then that's how you would spin your spindle. So this just gives the place for that tip to go. All right, now we're going to be making a cherry one next. So I have a Jacob's chuck with a drill bit in. I got some tape on as a marker so I know how far to go in for the depth. And then I'm just using this carbide bit. So now I'm running it in reverse to sand off any raised grain. And then when I'm turning maple, I actually save the wood chips for burnishing. So after these get a final sanding, they'll get a mineral oil finish. So I'll flap sand this and all the other edges, make them smooth. So these jaws here, I needed soft jaws. So I 3D printed these. These are TPU, so it's a flexible filament. Well, you don't want to put one on that's already done. So with these jaws, I'm just, machining out the center here. I'm not putting a lot of torque on it. I mean, it's holding. So once I do that little bit of sanding, and then put an oil finish on it, they look, well, they'll look like that. This one I did both sides. This is my test one for when I'm making spindles. So how you guys doing? Having a good day? Oh man. So we worked from like 7 till noon. And then Vicky had to pick up some meds, so we went to Walmart, and their prescription wasn't filled. So we had to wait a half hour for that. Then we went and had lunch and had a cocktail. Then we came home and we took a nap. So now we're back from our nap. I don't use carbide very often, but for this application, it just makes sense. And I put in a brand new insert. Everything is coming up Millhouse. Perfect. So Nova, before they filed for bankruptcy, they used to sell soft jaws that were designed where you could take it and then you could cut out, areas to mount. Like, let's say we're making like coffee scoops. You could machine out areas where you could set it in with a handle. So putting in soft jaws is nothing really new. It's just makes it easier kind of thing. So a caliper, a little head scratching, and Fusion 360, and next thing you know, we made them. So for these bowls, you have to make sure you don't get a divot in the middle. Hello, welcome in. See, right now I got that little divot, so I'm taking that out. So for these, you don't want a real deep bowl, you want something shallow. So I typically this channel we do beginner, intermediate, like scroll saw, lathe projects. This is kind of my day job. We're getting ready for our last festival of the year. And we got about a week of production left. So I thought you guys could join me making stuff. Because this is Making with Scott, you know. Worst name ever. So my normal full-length recorded videos are going to start back up in November. We are done with our show season. The end of October. Which frees up my weekends to actually make videos here in the shop. You'll still see me doing production streams during the week. As long as it's fun. That's a big thing. So I make these very inexpensively. Similar ones like this cost like 20 bucks. I sell them at the show for like 7. And the reason for that is I got a good deal on this wood. Once this wood is gone, the price will go up. So to get the blanket to this point, I took a board, I ripped it down, then I cross-cut them into squares, and then I put a little roundover bit on the routing cable on the router, rounded over all the edges. I know you can't see it, but I'm turning down the lathe when I sand. Now I'm reversing direction. Turn the lathe up and we're going to burnish with some wood chips. There we go. I hope everybody's having a wonderful holiday. This is one of the few holidays that, I haven't showed up to the post office on Monday to send out packaging. There's way too many postal holidays. Hello, 4983. How are we doing today? So we're gonna knock out 2 dozen of these today. I think we're like halfway there. Awesome, I'm glad you enjoy it. Today's kind of like an AMSR kind of day. What's the thickness of this stuff? It's a full 3/4 of an inch. I machine a lot of my wood to 5/8 and 1/2 inch because that's the size of the spindles that I make. So my intention for these are not to make them all exactly the same. I have noticed at festivals people pick through them and try to find either a deep bowl or a shallow bowl. I'm not a robot. Unfortunately. I will be back in 2 seconds. I just gotta take some meds. Thank you for waiting. I appreciate it. Hello, 9Q. Welcome in. Unfortunately, I only speak English. I only know English, like 3 words of Spanish, and I know how to say I like your butt in Japanese, and that's about it. You know, just the important things. Oh wait, we gotta burnish it. Can you write it down? And we'll get going on it today. Yeah.
The cherry planters are done. Violence minis are done, and this is the last set of these.
Cool. That's awesome. Sorry about that. We just had a sale and we're trying to figure out where we're at for the day. Apparently I have to 3D print a little bit of stuff for shipping tomorrow, which isn't a big deal. Some of the 3D printed stuff we make to order. We got like, I don't know, 10 different colors, so we keep, you know, multiple rolls of filaments so you don't run out. And we have multiple printers, so if something bad happens, you just put it on a different printer. Alright, we've got a little divot there. Yeah, I usually make these a couple times a month. They're not a huge seller, but people need them. I'm making 24. I might actually sell all of them at the show, but it's a fiber show, so. They're too good of a deal to pass up sometimes. Gotta go just a hair deeper. There we go. You just don't want to put a pit in there. So if you're just tuning in, we are making bowls for support spindles, as that states. Basically, supported spindles are made for spinning yarn, really, really thin yarn. So this is what a support spindle, this is a Russian, looks like. So you spin this to spin yarn, and this part here has to sit in something. So that's what these bowls are for. Or you could put change in them, I suppose. You could put 2 nickels and a dime in there. Need a blue raspberry?
Yeah.
Okay. Need a what? 40 Destiny? You already had that printed. Okay. Okay, and you got it written down. Okay. If you put your hearing protection in, you can pretend we're watching Charmed in the original first season. So YouTube really does not like if you have music playing in the background. So we're wearing hearing protection that is also Bluetooth. So I'm listening to the Smiths right now. So if you're new to the stream, I have been woodworking full-time since 2013. I worked in factories for 20 years, and I got laid off from a vehicle manufacturer. And I'm really into fiber arts and drop spinning, so I decided to start making spindles. What the worst case scenario is, I would have to find another job. We found our niche, and here we are. So we are renting a commercial workspace, which is about 5 minutes from our house, which is really convenient. So we're in an old building that used to be a grocery store. The basic brick Midwestern downtown kind of buildings where they're brick and they're right next to each other. So our downtown is nothing to speak of. The main street here, which we're on, has 2 doors down that way is a bar. 2 doors down that way is another bar. A couple more doors down is the public library, and that's about it. And it's pretty much like a little satellite library. Where, you know, they don't got a ton of books, but they do, they'll send them in. There's a whole bunch of different libraries in this region, and they share. Next to us, there's another woodworker that makes mantles. It's not our forever workshop, but we'll probably be here. Well, we got a 3-year lease. We've been here a year. We'll probably be here at least 6. Hopefully by then we'll be able to buy something else or build something. We'll see. Alejandro, how's it going? Welcome in. Hey Nordic, welcome in. So we're standing with the medium grit. now we're running in reverse. Sand off any raised grain. We're going to stop. We're going to put it in forward. Burnish. Yep, so I'm going to use a flap sander to smooth these out even more. Alright, this is the last one of these. And unfortunately, I think after this one, we're going to call it a stream. I'm ready to go home and go back to bed. Life is just so exciting. Normally I stream between 2 and 4 hours. It's just one of them days, you know. There we go. So we only made 23. I think that's plenty. Hey, Broden, how's it going? So these work out rather nice. I made a smaller set too. Would I make something a little bit larger? Alright guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I should be live streaming probably on Wednesday, I'm guessing. So hopefully I'll see you then. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.